Silverwolf is going to be one of the most valuable characters in the game for Yanqing. And the reason being is because her kit truly thrives with monotone teams the most, because it increases the chance of her applying that element, based off of what I have read. Now, the reason I think she's going to be amazing with Yanqing is because his best team in the entire game is also monotone ice teams. In particular, it's Pela and Geppy, the shield hero. He has a attribute or ability, I guess, specific ability on his kit called So Sync, and basically this increases his crit rate, his crit damage, and prevents him from being attacked. But if he takes any damage, it goes away. And the thing is, with somebody on the team such as Geppy, Geppetto-san, the shield hero, my boy don't be taking no damage. So, and then you have Pela. Pela is somebody at E4 who can literally decrease the ice resistance of the enemy by 12%. I think it's 12%. We'll go ahead and take a look at it in a bit. But she also is not skill point greedy, so she allows him to pop off. She also is somebody who can shred the defense of the monster, allowing him to deal damage. Furthermore, they're all ice characters, and they all can freeze the enemy unit. Another thing about Yanqing is he's somebody who does more damage to frozen enemies. He has literally traces and I think a Eidolon that deals more damage when he attacks a frozen enemy. This is why he's so important with monotone ice teams, because everybody's freezing the enemies and he's dealing more damage. Furthermore, freeze itself has the most significant action delay perk in the game out of all the other elements. It has a 50% action delay value when you freeze somebody and they thaw out. In addition, if you break their shield, that's a 25% action delay and then a 50% freeze action delay following it, totaling to 75%, which is ridiculous. Now, with that being said, the reason why Silverwolf is so valuable is because she literally just adds on to the cake. So let's go ahead and take this team for an example and say Silverwolf gets placed right here. First of all, let's go over the thing I said I was going to go over earlier. If we look at her E4, when using skill, there's a 100% base chance to reduce the target enemy's ice resistance by 12%. Now, Silverwolf also has an ability in her skill that reduces all type resistances by a certain amount of percentage. And if they're not weak to the ice element, she will put the ice element on them and make them weak to it by 20%, in addition to the all type resistance. So you could literally go up against somebody like Cocolia, who has a ridiculous amount of ice resistance, same as Gepard the boss, 40% to be exact. You could literally take Silverwolf and Pela and make them equivalent to somebody who's weak to ice, which is insane. So they would essentially have 0% resistance against ice, as I understand it. Now take this with a grain of salt. She hasn't came out yet. This is just the research that I've done, and I can't dabble into the details too much, but just her allowing Yanqing, whose best team in the game is Pela and Geppy, with the fourth slot being her, allowing them to freeze units that otherwise aren't weak to ice is insane. Because once you add ice as a susceptible element onto the enemy, if you break their shield, it's a guaranteed freeze, which is crazy. And you know, the thing is, once that happens, then that means that Yanqing can literally universally fight any freaking scenario in the game. So like in the Forgotten Hall, doesn't matter which side you put him on, if he has Silverwolf on his team, he's popping off. And his best team in the game is mono, so it's like super valuable. And then if you watch my previous video about defensive shred, Pela and Silverwolf both have defensive shred perks, which enables Yanqing to really pop off with his crit damage build. It's insanity. So I really think the biggest value in the game for him is gonna be Silverwolf. I think if you're a Yanqing main, you gotta pick up Silverwolf. Oh, and there's one more thing I forgot to mention. The other thing that makes Pela so synergistically valuable alongside Silverwolf, apart from the defensive shred, is this perk right here. When Pela is on the battlefield, all allies' effect hit rate increases by 10%. You guys, effect hit rate is what increases your chance of applying the debuffs, such as defensive shred, such as freeze, such as the 3 bugs that Silverwolf has. any debuff that's being applied, it has a base chance, and she increases all of their chance by 10%. Look at my boy right here. Let's go over here. He literally has a 65% base chance to freeze the enemy for 1 turn. With Pella, that becomes a 75% chance. Let's go over to Gepard. We go over to his skill. He has a 65% base chance to freeze the enemy for 1 turn. But with Pella, that goes up more. Same thing with Silverwolf. She has a % chance to do her debuffs. And with Pella and everybody else on the team, they all benefit from this. So this is one of the most synergistically strong teams that I think has a real potential to shine here and add some real value to one of the halves that you're utilizing them on. And the last thing I want to mention is this monotone team with Silverwolf perma-freezing people can take the fastest enemies in the game and make them slow as a snail. They'll make them slow as your tanks, honestly. So this is food for thought. I want you to think about this as a Yanqing player. I have them, and this completely changed my entire strategy around Silverwolf and Lucha. I think I'm gonna have to go for Silverwolf, guys. But we got a lot more testing to do. Again, I do want you to take it with a grain of salt. As always, I hope I brought you guys some value, or at the very least, some good dialogue and some thoughts on your mind as you're sitting there deciding on what you want to do. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and I'll catch you on the flip side.